Welcome to the third match of the Swedish Tennis League, where today we take on GLTK. After we drew against TK and drew against MATCHi TK, we're currently tied for the second spot in the league, and as I mentioned before, the top two teams in the group move on to the playoffs. My opponent for today is Markus Eriksson. Markus Eriksson is a very experienced tennis player. He's been ranked as high as 205 in doubles and 277 in singles. I think he has over 40 professional titles on the pro circuit, and he's represented Sweden in the Davis Cup over like 15 times, I think. So it's for sure going to be a tough match. My opponent for today is a very solid baseliner. He can, I don't know, stand there and rally with you all day. So a key focus for me was really to be aggressive, try to come forward when I could, and hopefully do better things than that with the volleys. But yeah, just kind of started off this match with a few too many unforced. I don't know what it was, but I was kind of like in a little grumpy mood right from the start, and that kind of made me, I don't know what it was, but I felt like my timing was off, my confidence was not there. I felt like my feet wasn't really moving the way I wanted to. I just kind of felt a little off for some reason. So it's just very important to me to try to get the groove going, try to get some energy going, but it is very difficult once you get into that little bubble to get out of it. I assume probably a lot of you guys know, and I mean, against a player of that caliber, you know, he's going to pounce on that, and as soon as he kind of sees you go down a little bit in level, he's going to be all over you. Then I start off with a double fault there at 30 all, and then another double fault actually to get broken to 0-2. And this is for sure not the spot you want to be in after the first two games against a player of this caliber. So I'm just kind of struggling here, getting a little annoyed with a few too many unforced, and that combined with him playing good tennis, it's not where you want to be in a tennis match. So obviously a little frustrating start for me, trying to get, I don't know, just trying to find the rhythm a little bit, you know, making sure to hit through the ball over and over again, because I feel like that's very easily my kind of issue. If I get a little tentative, that I don't really like hit through the ball. So a good rally there that I kind of liked. I was trying to move the ball around. A good tip here could be, when you're feeling a little tentative, maybe not super confident with your strokes, like make sure to hit through it. Like, it's so important to keep hitting through the ball, but maybe you can be a little more cautious with the marginals, so you don't like stick it too close to the line in case you maybe mistime it a little bit or so. But yeah, very disappointed with missing that 4, and I feel like that's a little too cheap of a shot to miss, and here he has add points again to get to 3-0. But they're a great job there with a deep return and stepping in there, timing that attacking ball well. But then once again here I get a little weird with my feet. I think everything really just starts with the feet a lot of times. You see me here just mistiming the ball, kind of doing a little few too many unforced, starting off with a slice unforced again in the first point. It's really important here to not kind of, I don't know, get too frustrated. Like, obviously you can get a little annoyed if you're not, like, it's I feel like that's human, you know, to get a little frustrated with your tennis sometimes if it's not going your way. But what I'm very happy with, like, looking at hindsight here, is the fact that I just kept trying to build the momentum, kept trying to focus on my game here. But I feel like it's always a combination, you know, that if you go down a little bit, it's a lot easier for your opponent to kind of step on you and maybe get a little more comfortable or confident. So I really felt like my opponent was kind of swinging away here, being very aggressive at me, but maybe got a little overconfident, or maybe just tried to do a little too much here to try to pull away his lead, and that kind of helps us to finally get a point on the board. 1-3. With some good serving and good momentum there. Like, he's very pumped up. Obviously he's off to a great start there, and as I mentioned before, we know how important this match is for both our clubs. But a really huge backing by him there, and great game to get up to 4-1. And I remember sitting in this changeover, it was very important for me to just really try to get some momentum going, but he just shuts me up with that massive forehand in the first point. But I do a great job of responding here with an ace, and then after that one I pull out another ace to get to 30-15. Two very important points there, because I feel like the first set was really slipping away with him starting to build a lot of momentum, you know, with that, especially that first point, obviously, and trying to build on that. So It was very important for me to just kind of punch back in a way and make sure I was still in it, and kept on fighting until the whole first set was done. So getting a little lucky with that shank return. I'm going to try to make something happen coming forward. A weird volley right. I don't know, like I'm kind of a little too tentative with these volleys, but I finally managed to put it away. And as I mentioned, you know, just trying to build on this momentum, try to get something going, try to get the confidence back, and try to work on the things that I want to do and try to execute. So a little weak volley by him there, and it kind of gives us the opportunity to come forward and presented with a small little opportunity here at 15-30 at 2-4. So good deep back in there by me, and he maybe tries to do a little too much there, and we're presented with 2 break points here at 15-40 to get it back on serve. It's a good rally here. I'm trying to get him moving around a little bit, but he gets a good depth on it. So I finally managed to open the court. Really looking for opportunities to come forward. That's kind of my goal here, but he's very solid when he get into these rallies. I just feel like he does have a lot of confidence just swinging away here, and don't really think he's going to miss, but some stuff happened here, and I do a good job, and I really have a great opportunity here, but unfortunately I just messed that one up. Tried to do a little too much where I probably didn't need to, and but we still got one more break point left, and we'll see what we can do here. So kind of disappointed with that form miss. I feel like it was a little cheap, even though he did move me there well. It was a little tentative on that four, and I should look for more depth and more height on that one instead of hitting with that small marginals, and that kind of came back to me. But with a great down the line back end, I get another break point. We'll see if we can finally convert it. Maybe 3rd time's the charm. Good job here, getting good depth, moving him around. Really trying to look for an opportunity to come forward. But it just kind of overhits that back end, and we managed to get the break back. So we're at 3-4 now on serve. So his first point here, I kind of hit that drop shot. Looking at the video now, it was probably for sure out. For some reason, I thought it was kind of close. And yeah, it is what it is. And there on the second point, I kind of managed to redeem myself with another little drop shot. Really made sure that it wasn't wide. I kind of just messed with me a little bit there, but it's very important to see here, you know, how we talk about the momentum. It really is a big thing. Even though I just broke back, all of a sudden he really is scraping here, and he's presented with another break point here with a great down the line back in here. He really takes control of the point, and he doesn't let up. Really swinging away with that forehand. I'm trying to get back in the rally with some deep slices, but he keeps on swinging away, and with that massive forehand, he breaks me once again, and is now serving for the first set at 5-3. So we kind of have our back against the wall here, and I feel like he does a good job here of just kind of staying in charge and really hurting us with that forehand, really moving us around. But we're trying our best here to counter punch, get away from it, and maybe mix up the pace. Just managed to land that slice in, and that gives them an opportunity, which we take care of, and we're at 15-all. Not too happy with that return miss. A little cheap, I felt like, but with the next point, we're at 30-all. So unfortunately, not the best job by me there on that volley after doing well to get back in the rally. Really put myself in a good opportunity, but I don't really know what I was doing with that. But now we're facing with a set point in the first set. We just managed to save it. I feel like he maybe tried a little too much, maybe rushed that backhand slice to come forward. Maybe it was a good play, but either way, how quickly the tides turn, and all of a sudden we have a break point now to try to get it back. Good job there, changing up down the line, trying to change up the tempo, get on the aggressive side on him. I do a really good job here at this point, moving the ball around, really not hitting 2 balls in the same corner. And I'm starting to feel, just from the looks of it, I'm starting to seem a little more confident and more comfortable just staying in these rallies. And I really feel like that's a factor why he ended up overhitting that one in order to give us the break back. I feel like it was a result of us being very aggressive and just kept on putting pressure on him, which kind of just made him overhit it in the end to just kind of bail out in a way. But obviously still a lot of pressure on us here at 4-5. There's been a lot of breaks lately, but we come up with an ace there. Yeah, as you might see on the video, the line judge actually called it out, and then the head referee actually overruled it. For me, it seemed like it was in, but yeah, if you slow mo the video, let me know what you think in the comments below about that one. Either way, of the call here, I do think my opponent went a little over the line, calling out the referee as well, pretty much cheaters. But I do know Mark as well, maybe his emotions got the best of him. It was a little close call here on the first point, actually, in the second serve I hit, which he wasn't too happy about. And yeah, that one piled together with everything was going. Maybe his emotions got the best of him, but still don't think that's really fair towards the referees and stuff. But either way, we get the hold here, 2-5 all. Get pretty frustrated there with the first point. Felt like I for sure could have stayed in that rally more and put more pressure on him. But either way, we're here at 15 all. Really important to try to get aggressive on him and do a great job there with good depth to counter punch, and that kind of gives an opportunity to start building the point. But unfortunately, I kind of messed that backing up. Got a little tentative with it. Here at 30, I will come forward again, a little tentative with that volley, but we managed to do a great job there getting up to this overhead and put it away in order to get a break point all of a sudden. Markus does a good job here pushing us around, but maybe was a little too nice with that backhand, which gives us an opportunity to get back in the rally. Trying our best here to find some good depth, and then with the forehand we come forward and put a lot of pressure on him. And that gives us the break to 6-5 in the first set. As you might have noticed, this first set has really been a roller coaster of momentum. And but yeah, finally we find ourselves on top. We have a good opportunity there with the volley, but it's a little too nice with it. But we managed to hit a great overhead, putting it away for 30-15. It's a little tentative on all these volleys. I feel like I could do a much better job of those. A little nice return by him there, which he wasn't too happy about. But that gives us the set point, which managed to seal straight away with a great serve out wide. And with that, we take the first set, 7-5. If you enjoyed that very hectic back and forth first set, make sure to like the video. It really does go a long way in supporting the channel. And if you haven't done so already, even subscribing to the channel really does go a long way in supporting my journey. So obviously with the match that's been going so back and forth, starting off the second set is so important to get a good start here, or either way just really show that you're getting a lot more confident and trying to build on that momentum, especially after getting that first set. So really good first point by me. They're getting aggressive, and I really like the way I was hitting through that forehand. Just looked very comfortable, or just a lot of confidence. And yeah, with that we have 30 love here straight away, and another one there, great return down deep, and maybe gives us a little shorter, and we take advantage of it. So obviously great opportunity here to kick off the second set in the best way possible. But yeah, good serve by him, and kind of steadily puts that one away. But we have 2 more break points to go, and here at 15-40 we get a great deep return to kind of get the rally going. We try to get aggressive on it straight away, but don't really do enough. So we're just kind of end up scraping around here, trying to look for opportunities, come forward or do something, but instead he comes forward, but we just managed to hit him with a low sneaky slice, and with that we're pretty much off to the perfect start here in the second set, breaking straight away to 1-0. But as I mentioned before, you know, it's never a break unless you hold. We start off here with a good first point to 15 love. And then here 15 all, you know, keep trying to be aggressive, coming forward when the opportunity comes. A little cautious with all these shots, but luckily we managed to put it away with an overhead again. Not too happy with either that backhand or that forehand, and kind of comes around to bite us. You know, it keeps on building like that, and if you get a little cautious on those, all of a sudden you mess it up at 30 all, and now you're faced with a break point. Yeah, a little too cheap of a return miss gives us the opportunity to come back, and we do a great job there of acing to put ourselves in a good position to hold this out and kind of solidify that break. But obviously a player of his caliber is not going to go out without a fight, and does a really nice point there, you know, coming forward, kind of a textbook point, just coming forward, putting that volley away, and we're back to 40 all again. So obviously, as I mentioned before, you know, very important points here, very important in this game for me to just kind of solidify my lead, or for him to get back in the match again. But do a good job there of moving him around, getting aggressive, staying confident on the ball, and with a great serve down the tee, we managed to solidify that break and our lead here in the match at 2-0 in the second set. Even though we for surely are starting to build some momentum here, I mean, it is only one break still, so really trying to build on this lead, and we presented with a good ball here, but unfortunately we just kind of messed that one up. I really frustrated with that one. I really felt like that was a great opportunity to kind of put the nail in the coffin and keep putting pressure on him, but unfortunately we don't convert that one, and obviously he's going to stick around as much as he can, putting a lot of pressure on us coming forward, and we don't do enough with that one, and he puts it away, and all of a sudden he gets that easy hole to 2-1, and the pressure is right back at us. With our little textbook shank cross-court forehand, we're off to a good start here in this game. Good serving here, making a lot more first serves than I think in the first set. Really helps me to get in a good position throughout these rallies. A great form by him there. Probably got a little unlucky with that net tape, but still a great swing by him. But once again, good serving, making a lot of first serves. Gives me a great opportunity to kind of dictate the rally right from the start. Really putting pressure on him with that deep forehand, and then kind of get away with that little shank backhand cross court. I don't think I really meant to angle it off, and obviously got a little lucky with the way the ball kind of dipped down. But it is only one break in this match. You know, a player of his caliber is always going to stick around as much as possible, always putting pressure on you to really have to win the match, if that makes sense. He's never going to give it to you. A little funny point there with a tweener. Kind of happens a little bit, but either way, he was here at 40-15. Kind of overhit that return a little bit, gives him an easy hold, and once again the pressure is right back at us here at 3-2. Good little pickup volley by me there to kick off the game. And by the way, if you guys watched my previous video I posted, it's kind of some similarities here. Great return by him, coming forward there, being a little over aggressive, and maybe if you watched throughout this whole match, he hasn't really been that aggressive with his returns, and that's what I wanted to kind of point out. If you watched my previous match where I played against Gustav Hansson, and once I kind of got up to the match a little bit too much, he started to kind of in a way change up his game a little bit, get a little over aggressive, try to hit a little harder than he's probably used to. You can see here really smacking away these forehands, and obviously he can work well sometimes, but to me, I really do think that's a big confidence boost for me, because I can kind of feel that he's maybe getting away a little bit from his comfort zone, maybe giving me a little too much respect, feeling like he has to play at a very high level in order to compete with me or put pressure on me. So I do think that was a very big confidence boost for me when I started to notice that he was going for the balls a little more than he probably used to previously in the match. And following up on what I was saying with the confidence boost, what happens next with a huge passing shot, I'll give you another look from different angles so you can kind of see more what happened. But everything that kind of happens here, I really don't think it's a coincidence. The fact that I started to come up with these shots and different things, because I really started to get such a confidence boost when he started to go, when I noticed that he was going out of his comfort zone a little bit. So, you know, right away we were up here 30-love, putting a lot of pressure on him. And as I mentioned, like, really try to look at the pace he's hitting these forehands. I feel like he was just starting to up it a couple of kilometers an hour, maybe going for shots that he probably wasn't going for about an hour ago. And once again I come up with a huge passing shot there to pretty much kind of put the nail in the coffin there, and get 3 break points to go up double break here in the second set. And yeah, you really see him just smacking away these forehands, and as soon as I get him moving, you just kind of see him overhitting that a little bit, and give me enough forced errors to get up a double break here and try to serve out the match. And with him getting a little more maybe stressed or trying to overhit a little bit, that really made me a lot more calmer on the court, and I really felt like I was finding the tempo, the rhythm, and everything was just starting to feel very good for me. And I felt very confident going for any kinds of shots that I wanted to. And yeah, with some great serving here, great first balls and everything. We're now with 3 match points. And we managed to seal the deal straight away with an ace. Yeah, I really don't think it's a coincidence, the fact that I ended the match the way I did, you know, winning 8 straight points after holding to 4-2. It just kind of feels for me like I got it once I noticed them going out of their comfort zone like that. Really happy with getting that win over a very experienced player. It really did get very competitive from time to time, but I feel like I did a good job of staying composed and focusing on the right stuff, even though it got a little hectic from time to time. My opponent did play a little monotone sometimes, where it didn't change up the pace too much, and I feel like I did a good job of kind of changing up the pace and maybe getting him a little bit out of rhythm, and I feel like that was a key to winning the match. With that win, Lidingo TK also beat GLTK with 3-1, which puts us in a very good position to actually win the group. We have one more match left in the group stages where we take on GLTK, which is one of our biggest rivals actually. So that's going to be a very important match for us to try to seal our playoff spot. But for today's match, I'm also very happy with the fact that I managed to stay composed and kind of focus through it. Even though maybe I was in no bad mood for the day, I managed to just try to focus on the right stuff and do the best I could with the cards I was dealt for the day. Matches like these are really the matches where I feel like you learn and grow the most. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video coming. And my opponent for that match actually recently won the award for the biggest climber or biggest mover on the ATP circuit, where I think he moved over 1,700 spots this year and currently sits at a ranking of 507. So that's really going to be a tough one, and yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you guys that one. So until then, take care, and I'll see you soon.